All right, guys have been busy. This is all tamped out, set to the right level. They've been putting the drains in. Well, they've been putting in the drains for the gutters, the downspouts, so we can get that water out of here. And then they're laying out now where the linear drains are going. We're gonna make a little bridge with the pipe for the drain for this wall. This, you see it's gonna curve. This will get popped off, right? That's what we decided. And we're gonna either go up to that one or the next one. I think the next one actually. So this gets popped off, this gets popped off. We're gonna tie into this one and come out, right? We're gonna need it to at least where you're at.
It's gonna probably come to this step down.
All the way to the step down. So that Chris went ahead and stockpiled this dirt for us so that when this is done, we can backfill it. And then we'll step down here and go to the road, probably just one, and go to the road. And then at the road, there'll be a gate that'll be probably more for decoration or anything. I don't know how often it'll be closed, but just kind of separate that this is this property kind of thing. You know, first world problems. So Jackie wanted the patio to come all the way out. I originally was gonna stop at the stairs. But since it's gonna be this is gonna be also rented out for events and doing entertaining, she wanted to bring the patio down. And then we didn't know how we were gonna transition, so we decided we're gonna step it. So you step up and you're walking up to the area. And then if you wanna do big group photos or something, have a big area you can, stand everybody on and whatever. And then that'll be, I don't know what'll happen there. We'll figure that out later. But they're ready for the pool patio, just waiting on the rebar chairs to get here. This area, we decided to stop the concrete short so that instead of having a swell to get the water out, we'll have our drop in grade that won't really be noticeable, but you drop to get over here and then it can run in and we can put, Jackie really doesn't want to do plants because she doesn't like to take care of that stuff. But I've got an idea for this we'll talk about later. I got an idea that'd be kind of cool. Gives us a place to put our speakers, lights, stuff like that. This still all gets stone, but the same thing here. This gets done. This gets all the way because the hot tub will eventually go here. We've got to finish running some pipe and everything here before Monday when the concrete comes, so we're behind, of course. This drain system, so it'll run all the way past. We've got 5 more pieces to add down there. And then it comes, concrete comes to here, and then we've got the travertine that'll go on top. Then when the travertine comes here, it'll overlap like that and just leave a little spot for the water to drain into. And should be good. Wall goes over there. That's what Casey's working on. We got to cut that. This pipe goes, this sleeve goes into the pool pump room. So we'll cut this and put a 90 on it and run the water line in there. Concrete will stop here. Come across. This will be a natural area. This gets block 4.5 feet high. 4 feet is the minimum for coming into a pool. So 4.5 feet wall, and it goes all the way down. There'll be a gate in here somewhere, and then it ties into that corner, which will then be a flat corner with fencing so you can still see the pond and everything. All this has to get fenced or railing. It's a lot. It's a lot. But we're close. All right. So now that we have everything laid out and set up, we can go ahead and get started working on building the wall and pouring the concrete. We left a little space there between the wall and the concrete so we can slope it towards the wall. That'll be river rock, and then if we ever want to plant bushes or something, we got some space. Well, we're ready for the patio pour. That's our already poured because that's where the pump room is. Casey and Jean got the wall done, so that's perfect. Got some other plans for this. Show you in some other episodes, of course. So now this is complete. That's a lot better. So this will get cap, and then it'll get a 4-foot railing. Comes out there, goes there. Boom. I don't know if we have to bring it back here or not. So this particular railing is just for fall, because if you have concrete up to a wall, they consider that a sidewalk, and anything over 4 feet has to have railing. So we really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So pretty much most of this, so obviously we're not gonna leave a gap, that's stupid, so we'll bring the railing here, and then we'll go across here. I don't know what we're doing here, because I'm not planning on putting a gate at the steps. We do have to put a railing here, so we'll come off this corner. I fell, and that was about it. I would have watched this video. What's that? Posthumously? After I'm dead. All right, so 4 foot will come out there. You'll go straight across. You see those kind of ruts in the ground? That's roughly where the fence is going to go across, and then it'll go back across the end of those walls and tie in. Up top, we don't have to put a railing there, boop, because that's grass on the other side, so it's not a sidewalk, but we may anyway. But we do have to put one down here. So, you know, you have to help people from being stupid. That's just part of it. All right, second to last pump truck. In fact, it might be the last. This might be it. Gus with CMP, the 133-foot pump. We got the big one. Gonna pump from the wall all the way over to the end of this wall and get the pool patio done. And the last concrete we have to pour out here is the driveway, so that'll all be tailgate. Yeah, wow, this is it. Last pump. Crews here, tying up some more rebar over there. They're gonna put up some wood. It'll make more sense as we pour, but the further you go in the ground, going this way, the more the drain goes in the ground. But once we put in the travertine, you won't notice that. So they're putting some blocks so we don't have a big gap to fill in when we're doing the travertine. Instead, it'll be correct like it needs to be now. That's all. Truck's set up. I guess he feels like he's good. Just waiting on mud. Check that out. The new Geese family, the mom and daddy, and they got their babies all watching the concrete pour. That's hilarious. Bright and early, the concrete truck is here. Let's go ahead and start pouring. We are using the DeWalt vibrator to help settle the concrete and reduce air bubbles when it dries, also known as consolidating. All right, today is pour day. The mud's actually on time. In fact, the second truck's already here, so you know, we're happy about that. Right now, we're pouring the pool patio, and what goes on top of that is the travertine. So we'll get some video of that later, but the little blocks of travertine that go around the pool. That'll cover everything when we're done. So we're only pouring this about 3.5 inches. You can do that with sand and compact it also, but I chose to go the concrete route. So today's gonna be a 50 plus, which means 50 yards plus we call in whatever we need at the end. And we're also filling the walls that, watch out, that Casey and Gene built. So once we go over a certain height, we go ahead and fill them solid. So this ends up being just like a poured wall. And then the lower block, let's look at that, without getting dumped on. So this wall, once you get down here, the step down and the lower block is all 12-inch block, whereas that's 8-inch block. So this is holding back earth. So since it's holding back dirt, we went to 12-inch, which is what all this was done in. So he'll fill this solid too, and then they'll go ahead and pour their slab. Also, you see these black wires? So this is direct burial speaker wire. So this will come up, and we're doing, Snap AB has a system where it's a canister, and it has a little light kit on it, so it doubles as your landscape lighting and your speaker. So we've got a few of those out here, so we ran that, so we have that prepped, and we've got a in-ground subwoofer, but we're gonna put it in the planter up top, and should be a good day. We hope so. What they've done here is as the drain comes down, it gets lower and lower. Where the red line is where the concrete comes up to. And so they went ahead and put boards on top of it so that later there wouldn't be this big gap that we had to fill with concrete when we were doing the travertine. Now it'll just be ready for us. So that's a nice little touch that they did extra. So if you notice the red line, you'll see it's going downhill. That's for drainage. So there's a certain ratio they do. It's an 8 to a quarter, depending on what you're trying to achieve per foot of the drop. So that drops to the drain. And this side, you see, it starts out high and it drops a little bit towards the drain. So when we get a bunch of rain, everything, it'll go to the floor drain. All right, so what we're doing now is we've called in a plus, and what that means is we're not sure exactly what the yardage we're gonna need. So the concrete company leaves the ticket open, and more importantly, leaves a spot for us in the line so that when we get... All right, now the fun part is starting, pouring the concrete for the patio pad. Man, this is exciting.
Each one of these trucks right here carries 10 yards of concrete. And I think we just finished up that third truck. That's the third truck for today. We got that much done. We still got all of this here to do. And the stairs down there. So it's definitely gonna be a 6+ truck day.
This is truck 5. Originally we figured for a 50+. I changed it to a 60+ because we burn up almost 10 yards in the walls. Fine. And yeah, we're probably gonna take 7+. We'll see. After they dump this one out, he should be able to calculate what our plus is going to be.
Truck number 5?
Yeah, this is truck number 5. We were misled earlier. So we should be good with a 6+ then. Down there is already cured enough to start putting the tooling in. Because this all gets covered with the travertine, which even on a 100-degree day like today, the travertine is cold or cool to the touch. When all that's done, that's gonna be perfect. We've got truck number 6 here. That's gonna do pretty much this area, and then we'll send the pump on its way. So, because they're hourly other than the setup fee, go ahead and get them gone. Then we'll probably have to wait an hour or so for the final truck, which will just back in and tailgate and do these two. They went ahead and put some in there for the step footing, so that when the concrete comes in, this is already set up a little bit, it doesn't push. And that's it, man. We will be done. Pretty cool. And looking forward to being out here. Not much longer now.
Take a look at this. I don't know if I'm able to step on it right now, so I'm not going to. But this is the concrete patio, which is looking very, very nice. Got the whole thing done. Now, it's intentionally set about 2 inches lower than what the final result's going to be, because it's actually not even going to be concrete. The concrete is the base. We are putting these stones as the top layer. So these stones will be on top, and that's what you'll see. But as far as concrete goes, it looks phenomenal. This is a bit sketchy. Balance beam in between 2 pools. Looks fantastic though. All the way up over to here. That's nice. And as you guys probably saw filled with concrete and rebar as well. So yeah, it's coming along very well. They got it all knocked out. Looks great.
I appreciate everyone watching today, commenting, hitting that like button, and subscribing to the channel. All that really helps us out. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.